It's 7:12 on a Tuesday night. You're standing in line at a gas station with $5 left in your pocket. Not 50, not 500, 5. Enough for coffee, candy, maybe a lottery ticket you'll forget before getting home. Then your phone buzzes. A banking notification shows yesterday's tiny purchases: $4.82, $5.16, $3.94. You realize you cannot remember any of them. The line moves. You step out of it. Back in your car, you move $5 into a broad index fund. The screen changes from $0 to $5. It looks ridiculous. You almost laugh. But you do it again tomorrow, and the day after. Eventually, you automate it. $5 a day, about $152 a month, small enough that your life barely notices. At 26, you check the account seriously. It's around $1,900. Most is still your own money. You mention it to a coworker. He smiles. That's it? He spent more last weekend. For a moment, you feel stupid. Then you remember the point. The goal was never to look rich after 1 year. The goal was to make quitting unnecessary. So you keep going. At 30, the balance is near $11,000. Now it looks real. That year, a friend sends you a screenshot of a coin that doubled in 4 days. He says your index fund is for people too scared to make real money. You stare at the chart. Part of you wants in. Fast money always looks smartest before the fall. You close the message. Months later, the coin collapses. Your friend stops mentioning it. Your boring account keeps breathing. At 35, you have roughly $28,000. Then the market drops hard. Your balance falls faster than you thought possible. Headlines scream recession. Coworkers say they sold before things got worse. For the first time, doing nothing feels harder than doing something. So you make one decision. You stop checking. The automatic investment keeps going. Same $5. Only now it buys more shares because prices are lower. You are not predicting the bottom. You are simply refusing to interrupt the habit. At 40, the account is around $53,000. And this is where the story changes. Until now, every dollar felt like something you had to push forward. From here, time begins pushing with you. At 45, the balance is near $89,000. Then your car dies. The repair estimate is $3,700. 10 years earlier, that bill would have hijacked your month. Now it is still annoying, but not terrifying. You realize wealth does not always look like buying something expensive. Sometimes it looks like a problem arriving and failing to become a crisis. At 50, the account is around $144,000. Friends start talking differently about money. One has upgraded cars 3 times. Another says retirement feels impossible. You still drive something ordinary. Nothing about your life looks richer from the outside, but you have something they cannot see: distance between you and panic. At 55, the account is roughly $226,000. Assume the market has averaged about 8% annually over this stretch, although real returns never arrive smoothly. Some years were great, some were ugly, some felt empty, but the $5 kept showing up. Now, the machine it built is no longer small. In a strong year, the account can gain more than you personally add. That is when compounding stops sounding like a finance term. It becomes something you can feel. The money is becoming less dependent on you. Then you reach 65. 40 years have passed since that Tuesday night. Your account is now around $530,000. You personally contributed only about $73,000. The rest came from growth. Not from finding the perfect stock. Not from predicting crashes. Not from getting lucky at the right moment. From consistency, diversification, and enough time for both to matter. Inflation matters. Markets disappoint. No return is guaranteed, But that does not weaken the lesson. It makes it clearer. The result was never built on one perfect year. It was built on thousands of ordinary days when nothing exciting happened. And somewhere tonight, someone is standing in a gas station line with $5 in their pocket. Maybe they buy the coffee. Maybe you do too. That is not the problem. The point is not to fear every small pleasure. The point is to notice what repeated small choices become when time starts multiplying them. 40 years earlier, $5 looked too small to matter. That was the illusion. It was small enough to ignore, small enough to waste, and fortunately, small enough to invest without changing your life. The $5 never needed to feel important. It only needed to keep showing up. Because the same $5 that felt like nothing for one night could become something you really feel for the rest of your life.